So, look at this. Step 4. Sellers describe their capabilities and qualify the opportunity. Buyers evaluate their options. Ooh, that doesn't sound very nice, does it? Let's have a look at the presentation that comes behind here. A presentation to present the draft proposal and the engagement plan in detail and how business needs and requirements are met by which IT solutions, define dates for the project definition workshop. Okay. Focus. Yes, good. So, okay, well, on one side it's easy because you have got an engagement plan to present, you have got a draft solution, a total solution landscape for the draft proposal to present to the key decision maker. They are going to be surrounded by all of the people that you've been working with so far. So this could be quite a formal presentation to kind of consolidate that part of knowledge and get the go-ahead for the next steps on the engagement plan. But obviously all of the challenges of group dynamics are there with it as well. Yeah. Step 4 presentations, I would go for a stand-up presentation if possible. It's definitely makes sense, especially if you've got more than 5 people. If you've got less than 5 people, a sit-down presentation will be absolutely fine. Definitely though, the 2 documents, engagement plan and draft solution, need to go out in advance because if they haven't seen those before, then it's going to be too soon for them to not a good idea for them to see them the first time in that presentation. Yeah, and I wouldn't really, unless there are specific strategic reasons for doing so, I would certainly send those slides in advance. Yeah. So step 4 presentation. You know, the one danger is that, you know, evaluating options. Yeah. So you've heard of the beauty contest. Yeah. The beauty contest is very often positioned as a step 5 presentation. We'll look at that later. But in reality, the job of the customer in step 4 is to evaluate options. So very often when you are shortlisted and you do have competitors, and where the customer is serious about giving each of those different competitors a realistic chance, then this is a presentation where you will be presenting against other people. Yeah. It's not a sign-off presentation where they're just doing the presentation for the purposes of choosing the people that they've chosen already. It is a presentation where you really will need to, you know, put your knowledge and expertise on the line. But if that's the case, then the likelihood is that the products and services that are positioned within the proposal are going to be pretty standardly accepted by all of the competitors involved. Yeah. And so it does beg the question as what is the purpose of the presentation itself? Yeah, why do they need to see you and your team? Yeah, well, I think that's exactly the point behind a competitive step 4 presentation is that they need conviction, they need people, they need the passion, they need the security that the people that they're going to work with are going to be people who they can work with. So it's about you. So step 4 presentations, really the whole realm of team presentations becomes very important. So your project manager needs to be there. Yeah. You as a sales rep, you obviously need to be there. Your pre-sales people need to be there. Anybody who's going to have a implementation role may want to be there as well. You know, don't feel afraid of taking 3, 4, maybe even 5 people along if you think the purpose of this presentation is to evaluate not just your technical capabilities, but also your resource and people capabilities as well. So, and the skills involved in doing a team presentation, they're not that difficult, but they do need a little bit of practice in order to get them right. So make sure you've got those brushed off as well, and make sure roles of who's going to say what at which time, who's going to present which slide, who's going to speak about which topics, etc., are very well cleared up in advance of the presentation. That's my advice. Okay, is there anything else about a step 4 presentation? If it's just you going in to present the draft proposal and present the engagement plan, then, you know, the book says that you shouldn't really be anticipating too many problems at this stage. However, groups always present problems that you didn't expect or anticipate before. Yeah, so when you're dealing with one person, you've got a relatively good idea that you can leave achieving a certain objective. So just check your objectives for this presentation. Check the first couple of lines of that engagement plan. Make sure they're realistic enough. Make sure the objective of this presentation is clear in what you want to achieve. And the fact that you're actually running a presentation suggests that PW, at the bottom there, you see that project definition workshop, last word in there. That's what we're aiming for in step 5. So we want to try and define dates for when that project definition workshop will take place and when the step 5 activities will take place as well. Okay? Is this presentation the stage where you get final approval from your key decision maker? At a pure level, the answer is no, because the key decision maker, I don't think, is going to want to either win or lose face by saying we're not going to go with this proposal now. We decide to disengage at this stage. I don't think that is really going to happen within the presentation. But certainly, the principle of after you leave that room, they are going to have a discussion about what they've seen. Yeah, so I think it's pretty important to realize that discussion is going to take place, and they're going to move either with you or against you based on that discussion. So again, make sure your goals and objectives for that presentation are very clear, and be very clear as to who your competition is at that stage and what additional value, the unique value is of your products and services at this stage. Yeah, okay.